Have you seen Sweeney Todd? I haven't, but I have worked at several fast food places, so this long pork chef-inspired game is definitely going to feel like putting on an old glove. Set in 19th century London, Ravenous Devils is the third game from a rather small studio known as Bad Vices Games. The prior two games being a third-person action slasher game, the other being a one-handed style game, if you catch my drift. Released back in April of all months, this time and resource management sim was most assuredly released in the wrong month. Why, may you ask? Set back in the early 19th century, a charming couple moves to London after an unfortunate fire destroyed their previous business. Using what little money they had, they began anew. The husband, Percival, opens a tailor shop upstairs. Meanwhile, his wife Hildred opens a pub downstairs and uses the basement as a kitchen. Under normal circumstances, this would be wholesome and hopeful, but if the name of the developer weren't a dead giveaway, you'll know this is anything but. Percival is an expert tailor and does a fine job of it. The only catch is he's a bit cheap and doesn't like to order fabric. He fixes this issue by recycling the clothes of his former clients. He then sends his former clients down to Hildred, who continues her husband's eco-friendly method and recycles the clients too, usually in the form of a mincemeat pie or even a nice steak with potatoes. Unfortunately, only a short while in, they receive a letter from a Mr. J who seems to know all about their recycling side job and has some demands. Mr. J has some peculiar tastes in mind, and you'll be learning more about his culinary intrigues and other details you'd wish you hadn't from your work. Ravenous Devils runs on a timed day system. Once you hit the open shop button, you're off and the clients come in. Clients will go upstairs to Percival either to shop for a new suit that you place on the mannequins, or to him directly for measurements. Clients that are buying a suit will take it off the mannequin and leave with no needed interaction besides putting the clothes on it. Measurements are a bit different. You can let them idle and leave for no penalty, or you can do the much more needed act and cut the thread, so to speak, with your trusty scissors. Once they've taken their nap, Percival will strip their clothes and you can either drop the body down to Hildred, or if you've gotten a bit of a green thumb, you can go upstairs and use it for compost. After the recycling is complete, it's of course standard practice to mop the floor to get rid of any unwanted mess. From there, the rest is up to Hildred. She definitely gets the rougher time of it here, especially in the early game. Hildred will have to pick up the body and take it to make mincemeat, sausages, or steaks. From there, it's just a matter of following the recipe and using the proper ingredients to make the dishes. If you accidentally put the wrong combinations on the plate, however, you can fail to produce anything, wasting valuable time and resources. Once done baking, though, Hilda's next task is to take it upstairs to the pub and put it on the display table for customers to purchase and leave with. If you've hired an attendant, you can use the dumbwaiter to send it to him, and he'll take care of that part for you so you can save steps and time. He's also an absolute need if you want to become a full restaurant and have tables, as those require being waited on and require specific dishes to be cooked for that table. Alas, people are people and have a patience meter because they don't understand the effort and love that goes into each suit and meal. Getting them desires when it's green results in a great review, which helps build the store's reputation, which is needed for story mode progression, though it doesn't seem to do much for endless. Yellow is mixed, and red will make sure they leave a negative Yelp review, if not leave your establishment entirely. The money you make from your suits and cuisine can be used to purchase upgrades to your shops, such as more ovens, more mannequins, even new ingredients, and getting more fabric from your clientele. These are not all only desired, but needed in many cases to keep everything running smooth. This is especially abundant in the added endless mode, where you begin with random ingredients, and have to pay taxes every few days, and have to deal with a wanted level. The latter two mechanics aren't used or even mentioned in the main story mode or explained anywhere that I saw. The wanted level will raise when you repurpose clothes, and the officer will periodically come to check the shop so long as there's anything in the wanted bar. The bobby will stand and idle in your shop for a bit to confirm that there's no streakers or nudists running amok in your shop. But should the bar get filled, however, the well, what's all this dens will decide all the nudity has made your shop rather unsanitary and must unfortunately be closed down. Tragic, I know. you do at least get the option of going vegan in Endless to circumvent this extra layer of difficulty. Now, with all that talk of delicious meals and nice suits, how does it all look and sound? For those of you who've played Fallout Shelter or the more recent XCOM titles, you'll be familiar with the ant farm style perspective. Being set in London in the early 19th century, the cobblestone roads are lined with candle posts and hanging lanterns as people go about their business. Fall leaves blow about the sidewalk, and the dim lighting of lanterns accentuate the inviting glow of your pub. That warm glow is the perfect foil to cover the macabre events going on above and below. Pairing up to this contrast like a fine wine is the excellent voice acting of our two intrepid entrepreneurs. Percival's voice, voiced by Rich Deigel, is smooth and deep like a madman's lullaby.
I barely slept while we were on the train. My thoughts kept me awake with a burning fever to see our new home. My wife Hildred and I decided to move suddenly. She hurriedly packed our luggage, taking only what was strictly necessary. We cut a good deal buying this place near the river, which had previously been owned.
Hildred, voiced by Ule Tiger, is gentle yet aristocratic in her tone as she entreats her patrons to dine.
This house is surprisingly large. There's enough space on the ground floor to turn it into a beautiful pub, while downstairs in the basement there's already a large, cozy kitchen. I can't wait to get to know my new customers. I've always enjoyed watching people eating the meals I've cooked for them lovingly. My husband, Percival, has cleaned the first floor and set his room up for business. A fancy tailor shop. Oh, it won't be long before we see the women from the local district showing off the beautiful outfits he has made for them.
Both have a near-perfect facade to blend into normal life with their mannerisms. The sound design is also pretty good, though there isn't much to be used. The main highlights are the sounds of the meat being procured, as well as some particularly gross and stomach-turning sounds when it's being processed. As for the music, there's unfortunately only a single track that plays the entire game. This single track is both cheerful yet dark and perfectly reflects the tone of the game, and while it isn't bad by any means, it's very forgettable and will become white noise to you after an hour or so of play. Playtime can vary by person, but the main story is easily completable in 4 to 5 hours. You can get full completion with a minor amount of grinding in about 7 to 8 hours depending on how you played during the main story. Achievements can only be obtained in story mode, however, and the game does allow you to continue playing after the story is over, encouraging you to play on that same file in a sort of easy endless mode, as achievements are tracked seemingly by file and not cumulatively across all plays. You also cannot unlock achievements in Endless. The game does kindly notify you of this as you begin. In my roughly 7.5 hours of playtime, I only experienced one bug, and it was a minor bug that consumed one of my dishes in between day changes. But it is uncommon that this occurs, and when it happens in between day changes, it doesn't necessarily hurt you much because you're able to prepare for the whole day and start whenever you're ready. In conclusion, however, for a mere $5, this was an absolute steal, and the experience is worth the price of admission to me and then some. It's a very easy recommendation and just right for Spooky Month. Bad Vices Games has another project on the way, and after this I hope to see them grow and maybe even give me something else to sink my teeth into next year. Happy Halloween, everyone! And if you enjoyed this review, please show by leaving a like and drop a comment if you have any other games you'd like me to have a look at in the future. And I'll see you all next time.